Dan, perhaps let's kick off by providing listeners with a brief overview of your business, where it's come from, and perhaps how it's been tracking in the last 6-12 months.
Sure. So Scout's based here in Chicago, Illinois, and we got started 5 years ago as a crowdfunding campaign. And as you mentioned in the intro, looking to create a more open, more affordable, more modern alternative in the home security space to the traditional players. So over the years, we developed our own set of security devices. We've rounded that out with a variety of best-in-class partners. Came to the market online, so direct through our website and Amazon. Amazon subsequently became an investor in Scout, which was a nice growth moment for us. And then flash forward to today, we sell on a variety of channels, both online and offline. We have both a branded offering and a white label offering that gives, again, just that best-in-class, do-it-yourself home security solution. And looking to continue to grow the company, not only through new devices, we just announced a 1080p camera, but also through new channel partners. So looking at alarm dealers and enterprise customers that can leverage DIY to their customer base.
And I note you made reference to your 1080p camera, which is also noted in your recent ASX announcement. Perhaps provide listeners with a little bit of information. What is this camera? Why is it different? And how do you see it adding to your bottom line?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think the camera is important, and we've always been a partner with some other camera makers. And so we've understood from the beginning the value of having that visual context in the home. So if an event is happening, it's always useful to be able to check whether that was the dog or an actual intruder. So having that visual context with the more traditional sensors gives you both pieces of feedback, right? Because video can also create motion events, but no other sensor is triggered. So you just get that nice interplay between the sensors. It's a 1080p camera, night vision, all the things you'd expect in a modern camera. I think we're hitting a really attractive price point. So it's $99 US, and then $2.99 a camera for video cloud storage. And so when you look at the value that someone can get out of a camera like that, the price point's right. We connect to monitoring centers, so we can dispatch police, which is different from most just Wi-Fi cameras that get sold generally to consumers. And for investors, what that means is that we have additional hardware revenue coming in, so our average kit price should increase. And then to build on that, the recurring monthly revenue that we generate through subscriptions, we should see an added ARPU from video cloud storage subscriptions that get paired with that.
Just briefly on video cloud storage, model sounds like a very good one to be added to the business. Who are you looking at from a provider perspective? Obviously, there's some big players out there. Google's got an Alibaba, Amazon, and there are a plethora of others. It's a really sort of dynamic space. Who do you partner there to deliver that aspect of your business?
Yeah, we do everything through AWS, so the Amazon cloud. Our events are not exactly the same as other consumer cameras, where because it's a security device, we are not always streaming up to the cloud, so you do have some privacy, only when the system is armed. And then it'll save any events up there so that you can go back and view them anytime. So that's who we partner with, and then how people kind of use it.
Dan, just perhaps let's talk a little bit about the market potential, the size of market, and I guess what does the future hold? New products, new channel partners, and clearly you've done very well in terms of the IoT space. There's a natural alignment there, and you're based in the US, so presumably you're really targeting that 300 million plus consumer population. Are you looking outside the US from a market perspective? And what does the next 6-12 months look like from your perspective?
Sure. Yeah. Well, not only domestically here in the US, but globally, the home security industry is massive. And if you combine that with the Internet of Things and what that has brought in terms of potential globally, you can see that cross-section being really compelling for not only Scout but our investors. And so I think domestically here in the U.S., it's about a $23 billion a year business. I think globally it's estimated to be about a $70 billion a year business. That's just the security industry. And so for DIY products, I think consumers are becoming more and more used to buying online, installing it themselves, and having that great user experience that you've come to expect from Apple, Nest, others. So that's how we're looking at it in terms of growth potential. We think we open up a new segment of the market for folks that can't afford a traditional security system or whose lifestyle, tenants or renters, can't do a 3-year contract. All of our stuff's month to month. So we think that gives us certainly a lot of growth potential here in the U.S., but then also globally, we're looking at other English-speaking countries as our primary push after the U.S. So certainly being listed in Australia, that puts Australia high on the list, as does Canada and some places in Europe.
Dan, compelling platform and pretty amazing system. Security is a topical business to be in at the moment, and I guess at the moment most people are probably lending themselves to thinking about the IT aspects of data security, those sorts of things. Physical security, of course, is where you're at right now, and but you're really blending that. This is really a hybrid product, isn't it, of physical and digital security?
Yeah, that's right. I think core to what we do is security. So, everything we do on the encryption side and protecting user data and making sure that end to end, not only are we keeping the home secure, but we're keeping data and privacy matters secure. That is certainly top of mind for us at all times, and we believe we're using the best technology available to do that and to secure not only the home but data as well.
And Dan, finally, just on the numbers, what do you sort of think the market potential for these products and for Scout Security is at the moment? And as you roll this out, do you have a big picture number that you're targeting? And I guess at an investor level, what are the milestones that you'd expect investors to be looking for over the next 12 months?
Well, so I can't give exact projections, generally frowned on, but I can point to the Sophisticated Investor. They did a research report on Scout. We did sponsor it, full disclosure, but they set a price target for the business. So I believe that was at 94 cents. I'm neither endorsing that or not, but people can take a look at least how they arrived at their calculations. And I think on a general level, they looked at it in a similar way that we look at it. There's going to be growth in the core business, the brand, in terms of the Scout direct product. But I think our white label product, what we're able to do for some partners who, maybe have a reason to be in the space, but either haven't been building it themselves over the last 5 years, or because they're a large corporation, just internally didn't start building it or couldn't have built it over the last 5 years. I think that's where we see a huge upside is being able to deliver the platform to some of those large enterprise clients, to alarm dealers around the country who are going to start feeling the pressure of DIY systems, from our branded system, and that really represents huge growth potential, because you get into the enterprise space and there are some really large pockets of customers out there that have brand allegiances that would translate really well into a DIY security product. And
Dan, do you have an eye on the prize in terms of a sophisticated or a very strategic partner who may well be an existing or current mainstream security brand?
Well, I think we would look at the potential partners in sort of buckets. So I think if you, without naming a specific company, I think you could look at telcos, utility companies. You could look at companies that just own brands. So there's consumer brands out there that are in a variety of brick and mortar stores. So that's how we look at it, is more buckets as opposed to naming individuals. But certainly we are having conversations across the board and trying to develop partnerships in each of those. And insurance is one I forgot about. That's another big one.
Yeah, good point. I mean, the insurance and insurtech is certainly an emerging space that a lot of insurance companies are looking for opportunities as in either health or physical security to provide better data sets to balance their investment. So that would also be a very natural partnership, I'd imagine.
Absolutely. And they, I think they kind of see where things are heading with autonomous cars and and other areas where their main business lines are being de-risked, as it were, and they see DIY security as a way to not only de-risk a home, right, but also have data that can help them give people cheaper rates on their insurance. So I think those are some topical conversations over the next 5 years for sure.
Dan, DIY security is not something that is necessarily, it's not a household, sort of name or a super recognised, brand as such in Australia, even as a concept. In the US, is it something that's sort of been coming for a while, and is it something that's becoming more mainstream?
Well, yeah, I think what you see, and again, I go back to Nest as one of the first products where it was kind of a hybrid. You certainly could do it DIY, and most people didn't think of their thermostat in the way that Nest presented it as far as what it could do for energy savings and things of that nature. So starting with Nest, I think that there started to become some brand awareness around DIY and smart home devices. And then, as we move through time, certainly the Amazon Alexa product line, the Google Home product line have raised awareness because now, moms and dads are asking, for these things for their birthdays, for a holiday, whatever. And through that, those marketing campaigns are getting exposure to devices that integrate with those. So I think, estimates are that in excess of 40 million voice assistants have been sold here in the U.S. I'm not sure what the number is globally, but that's really helped spur interest in the smart home and okay, what else can I tie to Alexa and Google Home and my voice assistant generally?
Dan, look, it's been really great to explore the business and understand a little bit more about Scout Security. And Dan, we'll welcome you back to provide updates as you need to over the term, or even have a deep discussion around the DIY component, how people can do these things. But look, for more information right now, check out the company website. Stay tuned to SCT as it continues to bring innovative product to market. Dan, thanks for speaking with us.
Thanks so much, Will. Appreciate the time.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Mr. Dan Roberts, who is the Chief Executive Officer of ASX SCT, that's Scout Security Limited.